Hey guys, so I just wanted to make a quick video just talking about how you can quickly make something if you don't have a charger or anything to plug it in, and all you have is 3 batteries. If you can find 3 batteries or just any type of batteries, as long as you're able to make close to 5 volts, should be fine. Now for here in my case, I'm using 3 uh, 1.5 volt batteries, and I'm going to be connecting these in series um, to help charge these earphones I have over here. So it's actually a lot easier than what most people would imagine. With most cables, especially like iPhone charger cables or Android cables, they actually run on average around 5 volts. So as long as you know that most of them do around 5 volts, it's pretty easy. You just have to come up with as close as you can to the 5 volts. And I just like to use the 1.5 volt batteries, because when you connect them in series, you actually end up adding the voltages of each one. So that's 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.5, and that'll be 4.5 volts, which is pretty close. I have seen people use 9 volt batteries. I personally haven't used that. I personally rather stick close to as close as I can get to the 5 volts. And one thing that I actually like to use is I normally buy, like if I have an iPhone, I normally buy like a micro USB charger, and I like to buy these adapters. And with these adapters, you just plug them in, and then now I can charge an iPhone. I could take it out, and now I can charge an Android or anything that uses a regular micro USB cable. Okay. So actually, what you what you would normally do is, let's say I only had the cable, and this is just an old cable. That's why there's some tape on it. So I decided I might as well use this one. And what you would want to do is you would want to cut the end right here. So you would just cut it. You don't need pliers. If you have like a knife or scissors, anything works fine. And I'll just trim the wire. Now you don't really need I would say you don't really need one of these wires. Like, what, you don't really need a wire cutter. You could actually just use a knife or anything that's relatively sharp. I just like to use this because it is so much quicker. But I imagine if you did need one and it was an emergency, you would use whatever you had on hand. Okay. So I have the micro USB over here, and after you trim back the wires, usually with most micro USBs, it actually comes with 2 cables, most of them, and it's usually a black and a red. Now the black will always be the ground or the negative, and the red will always be hot, or the one that carries the current, and it's going to be positive. Keep in mind, if you decide to use an iPhone cable, some of them might actually come with 4 wires. I believe some of them sometimes come with white and green as well. For the most part, it should have a black and a red, like within those 4 wires. So just discard the other 2, don't worry about them, and just focus on those 2, the black and the red wire. And what you're gonna want to do, and I am sorry for the banging, they're doing renovation, so you'll want to trim some of the wire back like so. And all you're going to do is just connect your batteries right here in series. Now when you connect batteries in series, just think of it as opposites attract. So you're going to want to connect a positive to a negative and a positive to a negative. Like I said, opposites attract. And next thing you want to do is you're going to want to grab some tape. Now any tape would be perfectly fine. The tape is just to hold it in place, and all you're going to want to do is you're just going to want to tape them, just to keep them from moving around. And like I said, I'm not expecting everyone to just go and cut their personal wire or anything. But for example, let's say if all you had was the wire and you needed to charge it, a lot of people come up with a lot of different ways. For me, I just think as long as you have the cable and you can find anything, any kind of power source that's close to the 5 volts or even a little bit higher. Like I said, I've seen people do it with higher, but I just like to stay as close to 5 volts. Then you'll be perfectly fine. See, and all I did was just tape them together. And the only thing I'm going to want to do is, remember how I said that the red was positive? So we're going to look for the positive end, so that's negative. So that means that this one should be positive. And we're just going to tape the red wire to the positive. You know, nothing fancy, just tape it in place. Just like that. Nothing crazy. I'm going to want to do the same on the other end. The negative is a lot easier since it's flat. There we go. Nothing crazy. And just like that. And here we have created 4.5 volts. Next thing we're going to want to grab our headset and we're just going to connect it. What's this? There we go. And as you can see, it turns on. If it doesn't turn on, it might be that one of the cables moved a little bit or one of the batteries isn't really making a connection. So you might have to either squeeze it a little bit or just make sure that they're actually touching. And as you can see, it's charging it. And like I said, just if it's an emergency or if you have just an extra cable lying around and just some batteries and you really needed to charge something. Now, for example, let's say if you didn't have these 3 AAA batteries. Because not everyone finds 3 batteries and, you know, just lying around anywhere. But if you had just the cable itself, keep in mind, since you do have the 2 connections right here, all you would have to really find is just try, like I said, try to find any power source. It can be a random battery. Okay guys, and just something, I just wanted to show you guys something really quick that you could do to charge a phone with 3 AAA batteries, or 3 AA batteries, sorry. Okay, I hope it helps, and take care guys. Now, I do want to show you guys something. Now, even though I am using this battery over here, when the voltage is too small, what might happen is it might not actually read it. So if I had, for example, 2 of these, it would work. And I just wanted to show you guys because sometimes, even though you have like some of the material, if you don't really have the amount of batteries that you need, it might not really work.